Oh man, I forgot to turn off the countdown here. What's up, guys? Just making some tea. Good thing I didn't have anything ridiculous on my screen. That would have been terrible. Get a new shirt for the thumbnail. Yeah, you're totally right. For this thumbnail. I didn't realize that was gonna be the photo for that thumbnail. Be right back. Yeah, I'm just having some tea. I don't have time. All right, boys, I'm back. I know. Yeah, what do you guys think? D4T, you're always too professional, man. What do you guys think? You guys like the stringer in the thumbnail? Let's get that. Okay, I started putting that copyright music on, that no copyright music, and it worked for a little while, and then I started getting a bunch of copyright strikes, so I gotta not use it anymore. If anyone has music that's theirs that they want, or their friends, like a DJ or something, or a hip hop, send me a DM on Discord, and I'll start using it in the intros here, because I need a better selection than 4 songs. I should probably send my friend for his new stuff. He's got some new stuff too. He's releasing. You got massacred last night. Let's go, Dingus Jen. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited! My Dingus General mug shipped. That's the stupidest mug, and like some guy just said it in Dingus General. He's like, you need to make a Dingus General mug that just says hashtag Dingus General, and I made it, and then I bought a sample. I'm gonna be my only buyer of these products. I love them so much; they're hilarious. How's it going? It's all right. We got we stopped out on Euro today, but I made a call. I made a call of what was gonna happen in my Instagram. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, I do post a couple ideas there occasionally. It's also in the Discord, in the public Discord. Probably the same ideas. I'm trying to reorganize the public Discord, just so you guys know. It's a good flow song, right? Makes you a little bit more profitable, isn't it? Incoming merch revenue. I've had the merch going for a while actually now, dude. And nobody's ever bought anything. I didn't really make it so that for money though. I just kind of put it on there, and I just put like the default price because I thought they were funny. All right, guys, let's get this started. Bink. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. I know. Another day. Another chance to learn what you did wrong. This tea tastes like fish. Okay. All right. What do we want to look at here? It's too hot inside. I think it's the smoke. As there's a lot of smoke outside. You can't see anything because the Washington fires are coming up to Vancouver. All right, so let's talk about the euro. Yesterday made a nice little call all the way down to here from this supply area. After we bounced off of it, we came back in for a retest, right? And then we shorted all the way down. Now, the reason we were targeting here and not nowhere else is because we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches of that level. So I'm sure there was a lot of people putting their stops right below that level. A lot of people trying to buy up this blue zone also with a stop right behind, and all of those suckers got fucked, right? Now, where did it actually pinpoint down to? You probably could have guessed this on your own. If you draw your breaker box here on the left side, because there's no obvious right side supply or demand, we can draw it and you'll see how it lines up just perfectly. That's where it went into, and that's what it was bouncing off of, that demand right there, just so you guys can look at it in hindsight what's basically going on here. Now, what do we want to do coming off of this is we wanted to look for some sort of retracement here and possibly buying off of this area right there. That's the original place that we should have bought off of, and you can see on the higher time frame, same idea, breaker box right here. Oop, that's probably where we would want to look for a buy after we come back down, and most likely we should see a bounce off of that again, because this is a quite powerful move. I did try to short it this morning based off of this. Oh, look at what they did. Good thing I just took a nap, because this would have baited me so many times over and over. They swept the highs here. They swept the highs here. Let me draw it here again. Again, right there. And then they swept the highs here again. See that? They really baited you there. Quite a lot. And then wait, did they do it one more time? Kind of. Mind you, these aren't very great sweeps, because you're not really showing a whole lot of weakness after. All you're doing is you're pulling back and you're retesting this zone. This would have been the one. These two kind of suck. They don't show any significant move to the downside after sweeping, right? They're just coming back to retest the previous demand zone, both of these. So these ones are stupid. So those ones you wouldn't short on. But this is the one that you would short on, and this one you would short on. Because this move breaks the lows, right? And because this move broke that consolidation, right? Right here, all it did is up and came back, up and came back, and then continued, right? That's all that did. Hopefully that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, like the video. If it did make sense, thumbs up the video. Just so you know, that's the same thing. Okay, first of all, before we get too into it, let me just share this to the Discord. Okay, they're late. They're gonna jump in here now. Everyone in the Discord is gonna flock in here. They're all gonna be late. Okay. No, gold isn't sweeping. NZD USD. Oh, we can look at NZD. Gavin, thank you for sending me the formula for calculating lot size. Up 4% total capital. Ooh, baby. Good stuff. Maybe I'm gonna take a screenshot of that and then plug it on the freaking I'll plug it on the Instagram. Boop. Boop. Perfect. Awesome. Now we got marketing for my Instagram. Okay. Shouldn't supply and demand zones be drawn on the daily time frame? D4T, I thought you were better than this. Supply and demand zones can be drawn on any time frame. Now, let me give you a little bit of lesson on supply and demand. Okay, well, we won't talk about breaker boxes right now, but essentially, let's look at this one here. First of all, we can draw supply and demand on any single time frame we want. It doesn't matter because supply and demand is literally everywhere, right? But the thing that you actually want to be drawing is the, let me delete this. It's the open of the last green candle is supply to the top. So you can see how that's right there. And that's basically the origin of the move, right? Because this is what you're looking for, is where did the move start and where does it have no retests back to? You can see that this isn't the actual start of the move, but the reason why I drew it like this was obviously because you can jump to a different time frame. Let's look at what that looks like on the 15-minute up here. Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing how I drew it perfectly on the 15-minute time frame, but I drew it on the 5-minute time frame. So oftentimes you see multiple consolidation like this. I kind of draw them together because they are overlapping each other. There's not much difference in these, so I just draw the whole thing and then we can see the actual most likely supply and demand zone. Now the thing is, with supply and demand zone, every single person draws them slightly differently, right? So you're not going to know exactly, right? But this is the most accurate to me. Like some people, they'll draw them the entire consolidation and it's just way too wide, and then some people will be buying that SR flip there, and it's just not greedy enough for me. It's a little bit too impatient. So I like to draw mine like this and sometimes match some small ones together. That's my personal preference. Now, the reason why you're asking if it's on the daily only, I have no idea, because it can be drawn on every single time frame. It's literally the exact same logic no matter where. But you can see, let's look at like a daily one. And then zoom it down to see what it looks like. Simply, you can just be more accurate on the lower time frames. Look at a simple. I don't want to zoom back too far actually. Look at something that has a clear one. Balls. I don't want to zoom back too far. Oh, here's a demand on the daily, right? So that's the demand, right? So this is the origin of the move. So from the open of the last down move, right? So where did it start in the last down move and then check up, right? So there's nothing retesting this, right? That's essentially what it's saying. There's nothing come back to retest that original down move. So let's look at what this looks like on the lower time frame. Let's look at like the 1 hour or whatever. So it's simply the consolidation all in that range, right? But the 1 hour, you could be more accurate and you would draw it like this, right? Draw the purple box. That would be the 1 hour one, right? So if you're curious, oh shoot, that's not the right, where are we? Oh, well, that's not the right one. Is it this one? Nope, next one. Anyways, so you can see the 1 hour one would be way down here, right? But this wouldn't make any sense to draw the demand right there, right? So we would batch them all together. It's all essentially one move, and that would be way too tight to put your level, right? So we batch that all together, and you could be a little bit more accurate. Could you give an example of good supply and demand zones that are right and the ones that are deceitful? Okay, that's kind of what we were just talking about, but essentially what I've just said for supply and demand zones, how to draw them there. Here's an example where like there's no demand zone on the daily, but it's still bounced off of it, right? You can see why, obviously. I'll put it on the 4 hour here. It's a 4 hour demand zone. So I batched them together because this one was ridiculous, right? That one's way too small. Is that the right one? Yeah. So I batched it together, and then it just slightly front run it right here. So we were right. Ones that are deceitful, all I can really think for like deceit is you don't want to be drawing zones that have been touched before, right? Because then they're weaker. There's no point in drawing a zone that's been touched before. So by that I mean simply originally this is a blast off, right? I don't know what you want to call it. It's a blast off. It's to infinity and beyond, right? Except it didn't go very far. It just went to the atmosphere and then came back. And essentially that was a demand zone right off the bat as it was lifting off. Oops. Right. And it came back, it retouched it, and then came back again. So now this demand zone is kind of weak and worthless. Even though it did touch it again and bounce off of it, this is a high risk to be able to buy an order off of that, because it's most likely going to go even deeper into it. But what it actually did was it was testing this one instead. It wasn't actually testing that one anymore. So that's why it was kind of confusing, because this one wasn't touched. So it came back and tested that. So kind of another example, it comes back, tests this. I think that if it touches a wick, then it counts as a test. But I like to touch the body because I'm greedier, right? So it didn't quite touch it, but you can see that obviously when it came back this time, it gave it a little bounce and then it fell through. Oh, yeah. Yeah, D4T. Yeah, if you're swing trading, then, there's no point to look at anything lower than the 1 hour. 1 hour for entries. Look at the daily. That's what I would do, probably. But I don't like to do that. Holding positions for so long stresses me out. Oh, that looks pretty bearish there, doesn't it? Okay. I finally had a winning streak. Where would I take my profits be if I drew up supply entry on the daily? Do I have an exit on demand zone? Lord. I don't really know what you're asking there, damn. Your take profits are always the same. Take profit where there's likely to be buyers. Let's look at NZD USD. So this one's quite similar to Euro USD. Oops, let's get that a little bit. Okay, it's quite similar to Euro USD, where I thought that we would be rising up again. We can see that this massive stop hunt here. Shoot, did I lose myself? There it is. Yeah, so this stop hunt really broke down through here, which was multiple lows, right? And these multiple lows, right? And it swept that and then rallied super, super hard. So I would expect it to come all the way back down here. That's my first glance. Come all the way back down here and then bounce off that to continue this bullish movement, right? This was simply gathering more liquidity in the market before we continue higher. That's my guess. We have massive uptrend, right? So most likely that's just a liquidity grab. And we're probably not going to be coming down even further. Probably. If we did, let's see if there's really any areas. This has all been tested. That would be a stop hunt area. Would be the next level right there. If we did happen to come down. So what did you say? You said a double tops on NZD USD. Like a lower time frame. This doesn't really mean shit. But what I would suspect is if you are making double tops like this and it's still rising, I would always suspect the liquidity move grabbing stops behind this level and behind these levels, right? And then continuation back down, because that's where we want to come back down to get our buys in, because we want to get a second option for a second chance for more buys, right? So I fully expect it to do that right there. So I would look for maybe a short on this tomorrow, and then Monday we'd look for longs, unless it comes back down through the Asia session, which we won't be trading in the Asia session. Possibilities on the higher time frame. Let's just look a little bit higher here. Okay, I forget what the fuck I was drawing here. Does anyone know what the fuck this means? Okay, yeah, I know what this is. Okay, so we have multiple tops, right? 1, 2 right here. Right? And now we got 3. So now we have 3 touches of that high, right? So I do expect this to go even higher, and then we were looking for something up here. Probably this level, right? Somewhere around here that we would grab liquidity and then back down on the higher time frame. So let's look at the daily here. Yeah. Okay, and if it doesn't do it, it's obviously coming up there. Okay, sweet. That's what we're going to be looking for. I think on the higher time frame, what it's going to do, since we did have that bullish bias anyways, we want to hit this area, right? We want to sweep those highs. So what we want to do is we want to look for a long when it comes back down here. Look for a long and then get in a really long term. Like this is basically like a scalp trade, is it not? Like if you were to do this, not scalp, but it's like an intraday. If you were able to long that and kind of scalp it, but you'd be targeting way up here, wouldn't you? And then hopefully you see the bounce off of it and you get a trade like this. This is how I'm sometimes placing like 10-hour trades. Is because I look for like super tight entries, but then I'm targeting a higher time frame target that I see as obviously going to be hit. So after you take your first like profits or whatnot, then you treat it as like a swing trade. So what you would do, you know, in this example is, let's say if this comes down here, it's all hypothetical right now, but let's say it does come down here, and then we see a nice bottoming whatever on here, right? Freaking, I want to get rid of this one. Yeah, so something like this, right? We see some consolidation, we see manipulation into that price range, and then a move up really quick. Like this would be an ideal scenario, right? Then what we would do is we'd throw a super tight stop, right? And then you'd be targeting most likely the previous tops right here as your first top, right? So your first take profit would be something right here, right? Those previous highs, and it would be something like 3 or 4 hour, right? And then you would treat it like a swing trade, and you just leave your stop at break even, and you would let this thing ride, right? And then you'd have a loose stop for the entire time, something like that, right? I'm glad we looked at this. This is a good one to look at. This is a really good chart. I actually really like this chart. I definitely want to look at this next week and tomorrow, because I think Monday, Tuesday we're gonna hit this. Definitely. Monday, Tuesday we'll hit that. Okay. Do you think it's smart to day trade on higher capital accounts? It depends if you have slippage. Right? Is my face a little dark? No, it's fine. It depends if you have slippage. Like, if you want to go ahead and test, start placing market orders and see if you can actually move the market, like, a little bit. But, like, yeah, don't really do that. It really depends on how big your order sizes are. You can just day trade with a smaller amount. Like, if you're day trading with 150 lots or 200 lots, something like that, you're not going to be moving the market. You might have a little bit of slippage if you get caught in a bad stop, but it's not common. It's not super common. I've had some slippage, but it's not bad. I don't have a massive account though. Like, I'm not trading with multi-millions. I would think you'd only have to start worrying once you're trading with like big numbers, like like maybe 10 million plus, then you might have to be worried. But I'm not actually sure because I've never traded with that amount. Do I even check news? No, not really. I know when the big news events are. Like I know that the FOMC was there, and I know the NFP, but I don't really care about them. They don't really bother me. Like if I see a setup, because my trading is all about manipulation. If I see a setup, it's most likely in favor of the news anyways. So I don't even have to look at the news, right? It's basically just like the massive ones like NFP and the FOMC that I try to stay away from because they just spike around like crazy. But the things like the unemployment, things like this, it's not a big deal because they're not as crazy. And usually they see like a little bit of manipulation anyways, and then I'm just in on the proper move. Did I already look at UJ? No, we can look at UJ though. Down trading platforms, big house. Where do you think Bitcoin is going? We've talked about this still. I think it's gonna reject off here, sweep some lows, and then go for highs again. UJ. Okay, so first thing is out of my mind is we had a bunch of tests right here, right? On this level. We had a few tests on that level, right? And we saw this massive move off of that demand, right? So I would be looking for a possibility if it did happen to spike, like just out of nowhere here, as a sweep, but it didn't, right? So that's just in a thought in my mind I wanted to share. Like it didn't sweep these lows, essentially, is what I'm saying. This is okay. So I'd be curious to be looking for a buy around here also because this move was so strong. I still think that it's most likely gonna come up up higher up here, right? Up to these untested areas where it's originally dropped down from, right? I still think that's gonna happen. But the thing is, I don't want to place any orders, and I don't want to look to be bullish until I see the same sort of thing on a lower time frame. I want to see massive moves on the bullish side because this is just an obvious downtrend, so there's no point in getting in yet, right? So until I see something similar to this on the smaller time frame, then there's no point. So we would just continue. But the thing is, I don't want to short this either because I'm bullish. I'm bullish around these zones, right? So there's nothing you can do. Dingus Gang. Hey, what's up, Screen Master? Oh man, you calling me Chris Hemsworth? Sweet, those are my initials, so. How many pairs do I trade? Basically the green ones here. Those are the only ones I'll even look at. Mostly the US dollar. Mostly like Euro, Pound, U-Swiss. Yeah. I feel like I get faked out on everything yen paired with anything, but haven't missed with USD JPY. Any advice on this? Maybe faked against stronger. So you're getting faked out on the yen pairs. Watch to see. Okay, so if you're looking at like pound yen, this is a smaller pair than the pound USD. So the pound USD is going to be moving the market more, right? in the pound, right? So if you're getting faked out on the pound yen but not the pound or the yen dollar, um, it's because this one is this one is basically following the pound dollar, right? The pound yen or the dollar yen doesn't follow anything. It's its own leader. If that makes sense. So you have to look for confluence with this one. Right. So let's say you're bullish here now, right? Because we've hit our target and we're really rallying back up, which, you know, it makes sense to be bullish here. Makes pretty good sense, right? Then we would also have to look to see, okay, are we bullish on the pound dollar? I'm not very bullish on this one. I still think this is going to come down, right? I still think that's kind of rejecting off of that, and we're going to get another low here as a really possible. So I wouldn't want to be long on this. Make sense? Yeah, GU. Might as well look at GU. Yeah, so here's the thing with GU, right? We're sweeping the actual day's highs and then closing back below. We're in a massive downtrend. We're rejecting off of a supply zone, right? And this was simply another liquidity grab to fill more positions. The other thing is we didn't actually touch the actual demand zone that I was interested in. So that makes me a little bit more bearish to begin with. So we didn't touch that. Probably going to continue down and actually touch it. Right. And that would give a great place to stop for, or sweep for stops, because a lot of people who are making money in this move here, they put their stop behind already. Looks pretty bearish to me. That's my reasoning. In terms of bullishness, I don't really see any reason to be bullish yet. It's creeping up slowly, right? It hasn't shown any manipulation. That's on the 1 hour. It's just coming up like a staircase, if that makes sense. So it's just climbing normally. Oops. Yeah. It's just climbing normally, and now it's rejecting off. So if we saw some sort of massive manipulation here and then closing back up there, then we would obviously be bullish. But there's no point to be bullish here. We still have the same bias on Bitcoin, man. Gold. I don't like gold. Looks pretty good for the bulls. This is pretty much what I was saying there yesterday. Was it yesterday? That we come down and sweep this, right? This wick filled resting demand zone right there. And then it's closed back within. So most likely what it's done here, it's now rallying quite strong. It'll come back down. It'll fill some more orders here. And then it'll rally up. Right? That seems pretty obvious to me. I believe. In terms of an entry on this, nothing's really popping out on me, honestly, because it's all been tested. It's all been wicking up. So you would have to play this one by ear. You'd have to look for a nice little sweep reversal, something like that, to get a higher confidence that you're actually gonna be right. Hunter, how do you use correlation in your trades? I kind of just explained that earlier in the stream, and I don't, because I don't use smaller pairs. I only use the major pairs, so I don't need to use correlation. The only thing that I worry about is U-Swiss and EU are essentially the same thing, so I generally don't place counter trades on each other. Or if I do, I lower my risk. Yeah. So if I'm short on the euro and I see a confluence in the U Swiss that it should be bullish, that's the only thing that I actually watch for. And then I'm more likely to place the trade. If I see another setup on one of them in the opposite direction, so like if I see if I'm already long on the euro and I see a short on the U Swiss, I'll probably place a lighter position, like a half position or something like that, because I don't want to place too much risk, and I don't like having more than one trade. Would you say news causes volatility? Of course. News causes volatility. Send me some charts if you like, guys. Send me the X chart like that if you want me to look at it. You get that from looking at the screenshot right here. You get the X at the very end of that link. What else can we look at here? Euro pound. It's been some time since we've looked at this one in detail. Maybe. So am I still thinking that it's going to come up to these highs? I still think. So it's gone deeper into this level, simply retracing. No real signs of bearishness, bouncing off that with conviction. Yeah, I still think this one's going to go up. This is a little bit odd, and I don't really know what it is. This is just something really weird. Like I don't know if I've seen that shape. Looks like a rocket ship. Looks like penis, actually. I don't know if I can draw it. Here's the penis. There you go. What if I see a divergence in those? If I see U Swiss and Euro going up, I mean, I'll take one if one's a really good setup, right? Or I'll take both if both are a really good setup. Then you're just hedging your bets, right? But it's pretty rare to see them both being great setups in the same direction. Pretty rare. But you might as well take them both, because then you're just hedging your bets. And you could take them both on lower risk if you wanted. Right. If you're ever unsure, okay, let's look at this one. Okay, so is this a trade that you've already taken? Gian? Pound yen. Yeah, this is like kind of what I was just talking about. Based off of just this, we see lows and we see manipulation of those lows. I'm assuming this is the level that we also looked at before. This chart doesn't really tell me very much alone, but I do remember what we just looked at. So you've either already longed or you're looking to long down here, right? And we've already came back down and tested this level here, right? Yeah, that one. So I am bullish on this, but the same sort of thing is like I'm bearish on the pound dollar. So if I were to take this on a retrace, then I would take it on a lighter risk. But I think it's a decent setup. What you're looking at. That's just my opinion on it. You want to learn Forex? Man, just watch the streams, watch the videos. You'll learn it pretty quick. Sleep time. Alright, see you, Jack. All asleep at 3 a.m. EuroCAD. We'll look at EuroCAD and then I'll call it a day. No longer need that one. What is the point of this one? Who knows? Multiple highs being swept, retest on the way back up. Simply breaking down from this major low here. All right, and now we're retesting this supply. Right? We see manipulation going from that supply before the move down. Shows a lot of strength. I would be bearish. This looks bearish to me. Bullish. Not much reason to be bullish here. Nope. Don't see any reason to be bullish right now. Yeah, that looks pretty damn bearish to me, dude. That looks terrible. Good chart, dude. So in terms of entries, that's a pretty good chart. Now let's just look at the euro, see if we're bearish on the euro still. I'm bullish on the euro, right? Because we saw that sweep. So we could come back up. I'm a little bit bullish. So I'd probably want to risk lighter if I would be looking to short right away. But the Canadian dollar has a little bit of strength, not very much. But this could definitely... Oh, you know what? The euro, we were looking for it to come back down here. Right? Looking for it to come back down here. So that move likely could move this one even further. You know what I mean? That would make sense. That'd be a good short, yeah. And you're coming back down to here. Yeah. I would expect... Okay. Yeah, I can see how they can go hand in hand. I would expect this to move down a little bit lower, and the euro simply move down this far. The euro comes back up for a rally, targets some shit up here, doesn't matter where, and then breaks back down. Where this one would just be slightly more bearish, where this would be the breakdown, it would come back up, retest this area again, and then break back down even further. I would expect this to be coming back down to here. Right. Checked on MACD lately. Yeah, we looked at gold today. MACD's getting slowly lost in the past. Oh. Alright, guys. Saw the Euro USD trade on Discord. Oh yeah, on the public there, yeah. Yeah, on the idea, the sweep there. That was pretty awesome. Posted this in Discord and on Instagram. If you guys want to follow me on there. I posted to watch for a sweep here. Once I went to bed, this is right when I went to bed. I go to bed around 9 o'clock, something like that. So right here, I hit my target and I said, watch for a sweep at this level, going into London. Posted on the Instagram, and it was dead on accurate, and it came back down, retested. This would have been your entry on the London Open after you saw the sweep closure, and then you would have rode it all day long. But it's a shame because I am not awake on London to trade. All right, guys, that is all If you like my content and my boring monotone voice and sarcastic satire, please hit that like button. I watched this at 1 a.m. in the PH time zone. Sweet. Because I love you. Hey, thanks, man. I love you too. You're gonna buy merch? That's awesome. Buy it if you like the design, man. Don't just buy it because it's me. Like it's just so little money. I think I make like $5 or something off of them. But it's I think it's cool, the designs. If anyone's got any like cool designs that like suit the channel, send me a DM. I got player one here. He's a little bit of an artist, so he can make a lot of stuff for us. He's pretty good at art. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Hit the like button and whatever. Write a comment if you were here in the video. I need to wear a cap sometime. Nice content.